Today we're going to be giving Avatar: The Last Airbender a 4th season. So, Avatar: The Last Airbender, we can all agree that Avatar should have definitely had a 4th season. I remember being a kid watching it in my living room, my big old TV at the time, you know. I was watching Nickelodeon marathons on Avatar: The Last Airbender. I watched Water, I watched Book 2 Earth, and then I watched Book 3 Fire. And then after that I was like, okay, so the next episode's going to be Book 4, Episode 1, Air. Okay, let's see what they got. And then nothing. Yeah, absolutely nothing. We got nothing, and I feel like a lot of us can agree that Avatar is a fantastic story. It had a narrative in mind and completely pushed it and pushed the boundaries of kids television at the time. But at the same time, I think we all can agree that Avatar could have used a 4th season to kind of wrap everything up. I'm not saying things weren't wrapped up. Please do not come at me saying that I hate Avatar and all this stuff, because I don't. Avatar is my favorite show of all time, so I definitely am not a hater, but I would have loved the 4th season. Many fans would have loved the 4th season. So, what do we know about a potential 4th season? Well, the information about a 4th season is definitely muddy as hell. So, we know that the creators of Avatar, Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko? Anyway, the two creators of the show stated there was never supposed to be a 4th season. Never. Nickelodeon didn't even push for a 4th season regardless of the success of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So there it is. We never would have gotten a 4th season. However, this is where things get a bit tricky. Head writer Aaron Yeehaw stated that there was definitely going to be a 4th season, but the live action movie got priority and was chosen instead of the 4th season. So there's definitely some conflicting reports here. And basically what it seems is that although a 4th season was in the works and was kind of imagined, it never really came to anything at all because of the movie. Of course, as bad as the movie is, we know how bad it is. Check out my video on that. It's a great video. You should check it out. Check that video out. But yeah, of course the movie is god awful, but even though it is bad, it got a lot of money in the box office. Of course they were going to prioritize the movie. And what do we know currently? So we know that a 4th season never came, and it's probably a couple years too late to do a 4th season because, well, Avatar ended 14 years ago. Recently, we know that the creators, Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, partnered with Nickelodeon to create Avatar Studios. This was of course used to create new and fresh, exciting stories for the Avatar universe. Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus and all those good boys back there realized how popular Avatar still was and realized that, well, it's still a cash cow, so let's cash out. I think the goal with the creators is to create new and exciting content. That's what they've been preaching the whole time. Of course, we had Korra in 2012 to 2014. And of course, we've gotten the Kyoshi novels, we've gotten the comics, we've gotten a lot of things, and I think they're going to continue to do fresh and new stories. So today, without further ado, we're going to be talking about what a 4th season would be today and what it would have been 14 years ago. So let's start at the top. We have to start at the very beginning. We got to start with Aang. So with Aang, Aaron Yeehaw stated a potential storyline for Aang in the 4th season. He stated how, of course, Aang took the power from Ozai, and with doing that, he took in a bit of evil with him. He stated, "It's a great power," of course referring to Aang's ability to stop somebody from bending and taking their power. But part of you also just took in all of this evil. Aang took in all of the evil from Ozai. To take it away from someone else, you're holding on to it to protect the world. And doing so would definitely create some type of internal struggle. So Aaron Yeehaw stated what would be a perfect way for Aang to deal with this, and a perfect way to get away from everything is possibly a mini vacation with Zuko, who of course we know had a lot of trouble earlier on in the show dealing with internal conflict. Of course, this season would not be about like creating a new super bad villain and a new super bad enemy. The goal is to wrap everything up nicely, but at the same time you do need a foe, a villain, to kind of contradict everything. I think a great foe for this season would definitely be potentially a normal Fire Nation citizen, somebody who has been kicked out of his home in favor of the Earth Kingdom getting their land back. Of course, we know that the Earth Kingdom would want their land back, and they do get their land back, but it's also kind of messed up because the Fire Nation are being kicked out of their homes after being there for 100 years. It's definitely a conflict that will come up and will have to be dealt with. In the comics, of course, we've seen somebody attempted to assassinate Zuko, and I feel like that is something that maybe could be revisited here with a potential major villain for this season. Just a villain that could be defeated and put out of the way so the rest of the story can be concluded. Book 4, of course, would be air, and with it would be a balance. It would be a balancing act from Aang and all the people around him, balancing all these nations trying to come together and be great after the 100-year war. Anyway, a balance. Yes, it's going to be a balance, and also it will be an internal balance with Aang dealing with all this evil he took in. So with that, we would also see for the very first time Katara and Aang finally being able to show their romance. We really didn't see much of that. We got hints of it in the original series and hints of it in the comics and hints of it in Legend of Korra, but not really a full-on flesh relationship. I think the best way to do this is to look at how they were as friends. It's definitely going to be different seeing them as a romantic couple. As well as that, just to put it simple, it's going to be very cool to see them and very rewarding to fans of the show being able to see these two finally be the couple they were meant to be. We want to see that payoff as them as a couple. So Katara, I just mentioned how Katara is going to be with Aang. I think a really good, a good story for Katara in this season. We can't really do anything major with her, we just need to tie things up and give her a purpose. So the best thing to do with her, I think, is go to the Southern Water Tribe. Her, Sokka, and Suki go to the Southern Water Tribe to rebuild. We want to see more of Sokka and Suki, so that's why Suki gets brought along. Of course, the Southern Water Tribe has been put in the dirt over the past 100 years, and it needs to be built up to the place where it is in Legend of Korra. Best way to do that is to start with Katara. Of course, she will be away from Aang, which may cause some struggle in their relationship, but I feel like they would definitely be able to overcome that. Maybe they leave, midway through the season to go rebuild, and that's their final journey, is to rebuild the Southern Water Tribe. And at the end of the season, we see some of the rebuilding taking place. Sadly, this does mean that our group would be split up, but I feel like it's the only way to really give everybody a purpose that has meaning. For example, Katara, Sokka, and Suki will be together at the Southern Water Tribe for a majority of the season. That's who they'll be spending most of their time with. Let's talk about Toph. I feel like Toph, we know in Legend of Korra she eventually becomes a cop, a officer, a government official. How does she get there? Well, I feel like a good way for her to get there is to be with Aang and Zuko in this new season. The two of them are going to be spending a lot of time together dealing with the Fire Nation colonies and the Earth Kingdom. So maybe when, Zuko gets attempted to be assassinated, guess who's there to make the save? Toph. And from there, Toph can be kind of like a bodyguard, a security guard for Zuko and Aang, and help them when things get tough, because there's going to be a lot of tough situations for them. And like I previously mentioned, this season needs to wrap things up. What did not get wrapped up for Toph? Oh wait, you're right, her parents' storyline. We need a moment where Toph is finally accepted by her parents. I feel like, Toph can walk in there and be like, here's who I really am. You either accept me and take me in and I'll be your daughter and you love me and I'll love you back, or I walk away from this for good. This is your last chance. I think it could be a really good climatic experience for Toph as a character. She was never accepted for who she was in the original series by her parents, so being able to finally be accepted would be a great final story for her to wrap up. Zuko will be another character who struggles to find balance in this season. Of course, this book is mainly focused on balance, so we want to talk about balance. So yeah, balance for Zuko. He will go to Iroh and Ozai for advice, not knowing how to lead the Fire Nation at this point. Iroh will of course lay back and just kick back and let Zuko reign as Fire Lord because he doesn't want to step on his toes and he doesn't want to he wants Zuko to be able to do it for himself. How this gets accomplished is by just giving him the reign of the kingdom. Iroh will go back and just run his tea shop. Ozai will of course be in prison and Zuko will struggle to find the right way to deal with things. It's kind of like the fear or beloved deal with a leader. Is it better to be feared or loved? It will kind of be like that struggle. He has to deal with his family's past failures. And we have to wrap up Zuko's story in a bow. What about Zuko has not been wrapped up? His mother. So how do we deal with finding his mother, Azula? I think Zuko, Aang, and Azula going together to find Zuko's mother, Ursa, Zuko and Azula's mother, Ursa, would be a great way to end the character and redeem Azula. I feel like it's going to be very hard to redeem Azula, but I think it's what has to be done. Eren Yeager has also stated that there was a plan to redeem Zuko's sister, Azula, in the 4th season. So what a great way to do that than to have her redeem herself by being first a prisoner and needing to be taken out to go on this journey to find Ursa. And in the end, of course, they would find Ursa and wrap this story up in a bow as well. The goal here is to just wrap everything up while also having conflicting moments and big moments in the new season. Let's wrap up with some major points and things just so you know everything I'm talking about. Aang. Aang has internal struggle. Aang also gets to go on a mini vacation with Zuko and Azula trying to find Ursa. Aang will have to deal with this season's major villain being a Fire Nation civilian who has had everything taken away from him and losing his home. And we also see Aang and Katara's romance. Katara, Sokka, and Suki goes together to the Southern Water Tribe to rebuild and make the Southern Water Tribe a big force again, and a force that can be comparable to the other world powers in the world. Toph will be following along Zuko and Aang for a majority of the season, but when they go looking for Ursa, Toph will go and wrap up her parents' storyline and be accepted by her family. Happy, really, very happy. Zuko will have to deal with balancing the Fire Nation and all this pressure on him. Zuko will go to Iroh and Ozai for advice. Iroh will run his tea shop. Ozai will be a prisoner. Zuko will have to have help from his sister Azula to find Ursa. In doing so, Azula goes through a huge redemption arc, which ends with her crying and breaking down to Ursa, and boom, we wrap up the story. These are all the major points. This is how I would do a 4th season of Avatar: The Last Airbender. If there's anything you guys disagree with, anything at all, please let me know in the comments below, anything you disagree with, because this isn't perfect. This is just something I brainstormed, something I thought would fit each character, kind of wrapping the story up in a 4th season, and I would have loved to see this come to life on the live screen. So yeah, let me know if there's anything you would change. I'm always open to new ideas and ways to use these characters. I'm not a genius and I'm not a writer for sure. So yeah, with all that being said, I really liked recording this video because, well, it's kind of cool to imagine this 4th season. Check out any of my other videos because I have a lot of videos on Avatar and other things like iCarly and just a bunch of stuff on my channel, and there's going to be more and more coming out as days go by. So subscribe if you like this content. Did you like it? I know you did. If you lasted this long, subscribe. It's completely free. Why are you not subscribed? Subscribe. And also leave a like and comment. Like I said, do whatever you want. Dislike it if you don't like it. I mean, that's fair too. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace out.